What's good, everybody? It's the chosen one, back at it today, and I'm gonna go over Muhammad Ali's natal chart and how the planets and stars were aligned around his horizon at the moment of his birth. Okay, a lot of people don't understand that Muhammad Ali was pure of heart, and he was actually going against the establishment and the New World Order agenda. Okay, that is what led to him being poisoned, and that is what led to him being ultimately sacrificed. Now, a lot of people have been asking me what gave me the idea to go ahead and do that video about Muhammad Ali, the one I did about a month ago. And I did that because the ancestors were communicating with me and telling me that it was either going to be Muhammad Ali or Michael Jordan that was going to be sacrificed for this year's 2016 Olympics. Okay, each Olympic year, okay, some significant figure is sacrificed by the global elite. Okay, you can do your research and just see that for yourself. Okay, I told you in my 2016 Olympics Decoded video that it's all about ritual sacrifice. The ceremony they do before the Olympics starts is all about ritual sacrifice. So this year's ritual sacrifice for the 2016 Olympics was none other than Muhammad Ali. Okay? Now, when Muhammad Ali became a boxer, okay, he created a technique that made a lot of money for Las Vegas casinos. Okay, Muhammad Ali revolutionized the idea of the braggadocious look at me kind of athlete. Okay, this was all a tactic. This is really not who Muhammad Ali really was on the inside. That's who he portrayed himself as on the outside, but that's not who he really was on the inside. What he was doing was to get white America to view him as arrogant and narcissistic, so they wanted to see him fall, and they would bet against him every single time it was time for him to fight, and they would lose their money. Okay? Muhammad Ali used that tactic naturally, and the mob, okay, people around him like Gene Kilroy, his trainer, told him that it was a good tactic to set up fights and to sell tickets for fights. Also, to make money for the Las Vegas casinos, because when people bet against him, okay, a lot of people wanted to see Muhammad Ali fall in his day. Especially a lot of white people wanted to see him fall in his day. And they would place the bets down at the casinos, and they would lose their money. Okay? Mayweather has the same exact tactic. But Muhammad Ali had the same tactic. But here's the thing. Muhammad Ali never sacrificed anybody to get in the Freemasonic order. He never sacrificed anybody, people. Do your research. He was going against the establishment, okay, which led to him getting poisoned, and which eventually led to him getting sacrificed for this year's Olympics, okay? So when you look at it, they only kept Muhammad Ali alive for so long because his name was profitable, people. His name was profitable, and they were still making money off of him. So they waited and made as much money off of Muhammad Ali as possible until they could sacrifice him on a date with perfect numerology. Okay, what did I tell you about numerology of the dates of when certain people get sacrificed? Okay, now I'm not going to get into that in this lecture, with the numerology of the sacrifice of his death date. But what I'm going to get into is how the stars and planets were aligned around the earth at the moment of Muhammad Ali's birth, okay? Now, I told you that the ascendant, which is the AC, is the star constellation rising over the horizon at the moment of your birth. And your ascendant and what's in your first house controls what kind of demeanor a person is going to portray themselves as on the outside. So when you first meet somebody with an ascendant in Leo, you're going to meet a very confident, very assertive, very determined individual, okay? And people might even mistake people with Leo ascendants as very cocky, okay? So how did people view Muhammad Ali on the outside? Remember, your ascendant is only how you portray yourself on the outside when people first meet you. So like I said, Muhammad Ali had a very confident, cocky demeanor on the outside. And this is proving it with an ascendant in Leo, okay? Like I said, the ascendant is who you are on the outside. It's who you are on the outside, okay? When we get to the sixth house of work and service, we have Sun, Moon, and Mercury all in the sixth house of work and service, okay? So Muhammad Ali was of great service to his community. He gave back to his community, okay? He was a person who put his money where his mouth was. He was a person who paid his dues for his community, okay? Because the sixth house represents work and service, and what kind of service a person is going to be to his community, okay? Second house rules the material resources that we hold on to, okay? Material resources, money resources that we hold on to after our career. Now, he had a substantial amount. He has Neptune in his second house of money and material resources, but Neptune also represents deception and illusions, and also it rules enemies in disguise. Okay, Neptune rules enemies in disguise. So Muhammad Ali had a lot of people around him who were trying to parasite off of him, to get his money, to cheat him out of his contract money of his fights. Okay, so this is what Neptune in the second house represents, of income, of money, okay, net worth. He has Venus in his seventh house of love and relationships, which means he had no problem whatsoever acquiring wives and acquiring marital partners, okay? Because the seventh house rules serious relationships and love, okay? The seventh house ruled by Venus, but the positive aspect of Venus. The second house is the negative aspect of Venus. The seventh house is the positive aspect of Venus. The seventh house is ruled by Libra. Second house ruled by Taurus, okay? Negative aspect and positive aspect. Money and love and serious relationships, okay? We go over to the ninth house, which is of Sagittarius, okay? The second half of this ninth house is ruled by Sagittarius, okay? Because remember, we're doing 13 astrology, so that means half of this eighth and ninth, half of this eighth and ninth house are supposed to be separated, and in the middle of this eighth and ninth house is supposed to be the serpent bearer Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is not a full zodiac sign. It only takes up half a month, so therefore it only takes up half the area of a house of this chart. So it would be smack dab in between the eighth and the ninth house. But Muhammad Ali has Mars in his house of Sagittarius. So what did that mean? What does Sagittarius mean? Sagittarius means traveling. Remember, Sagittarius means traveling. he has his Mars in his house of Sagittarius, people, which means that he was traveling to perform Mars activities, martial arts activities, manly activities. Mars is the god of war, physical martial arts. Okay, MAR means martial arts, physical action, sports. Okay, he was traveling to fight. He was traveling to go to war. He was traveling to go to war for what he believed in, to stand up for what he believed in. Mars in the house of Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules traveling. And he had Mars in that house right here, people. Mars in the 9th house. Okay? So he was technically a soldier. Okay? He was a warrior. He was a person who went traveling to go to war in the ring. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 planets in the house of Capricorn. Now, what did I tell you that the house of Capricorn represented? The house of Capricorn represents public recognition, how the public is going to view us in the media's eye. Okay? We have Jupiter here, we have Uranus here, and we have Saturn here. By this man having Saturn in the house of Capricorn means that Muhammad Ali was a pure Capricorn. Let me repeat. Saturn is ruled by the 10th house. So therefore, if a person who is a Capricorn has Saturn in his 10th house, means that the individual is a pure Capricorn. Okay? If a Leo had Sun in the 5th house, they would be a pure Leo. Okay? Because the 5th house rules your Leo chakra. The 5th house rules your Leo chakra, and Sun in Leo is what, Leo is ruled by. And if that was in the 5th house, that individual would be a pure Leo. Muhammad Ali was born on January 17th. 1-7 is 8, which gives you Capricorn energy, Saturnian Capricorn energy. Okay, like I said, there's a positive aspect to every astrological object, which means by Muhammad Ali being born on January 17th, he was a pure Capricorn. So he also had Saturn in the 10th house, which made him a pure Capricorn. Okay, which means that he was a person of legendary determination, of legendary motivation, and stood up for what he believed in legendary fashion. Okay, he also had Uranus in his 10th house of public recognition and his career. What is Uranus? Uranus rules Aquarius, which rules revolution and rebelliousness. Once again, Uranus is right here. Uranus is right here. It is the planet of rebellion and revolutionary activity in his house of public recognition. What was he recognized for? Not going to the Vietnam War, standing up for what he believed in, okay, was a revolutionary, rebellious act against the United States government. What did Muhammad Ali do when the government assigned him to go to the Vietnam War? What did they do? They incarcerated him. They incarcerated him for 3 to 5 years, okay? And they tried to tarnish his boxing record, because without Muhammad Ali knowing, he was actually serving the global elite's agenda until he became a part of the Nation of Islam. When Muhammad Ali became the part of the Nation of Islam, that's when you saw a lot of his Uranus energy activated in his 10th house, or should I say 11th house, of Capricorn, okay? Of public recognition. When he joined the Nation of Islam, Uranus in his house of Capricorn was activated because he was living out his destiny to be viewed as a rebel, as a revolutionary in the eyes of the public. Okay? And he was punished for that. And from that moment on, when he joined the Nation of Islam and he changed his name to Muhammad Ali, that is when the global elites started to try to rig fights to make this man lose. Didn't you see the Muhammad Ali movie where the individual was putting almost poison on his gloves so he could try to blind Muhammad Ali? That was a true story, people. That was true. And what does Jupiter represent? Jupiter represents never-ending expansion, never-ending expansion, never-ending expansion in his house of career and public recognition, which means the creator and the ancestors blessed Muhammad Ali with the superpower of being a household name and recognized throughout the whole world as a substantial, positive figure in the hearts, minds, and souls of the people across the world. Because wherever Jupiter is placed in a person's chart is where they will never fail. Let me repeat, is where they will never fail in the hearts, minds, bodies, and souls, okay, of the public eye. The 10th house, or the 11th house, should be, ruled by Capricorn, rules how the public eye is going to view us in this life. And Muhammad Ali had Jupiter there, which means that even though he had enemies trying to bring him down, Jupiter's energy was always going to supersede that and was always going to protect him and protect his image in the public eye. Okay? So this man was destined to be recognized for something powerful and something important in his life. Because Jupiter represents an area of life that we will never fail in, that we will never fail in. Okay? So when you look at your chart and you see Jupiter there, you will see an area of life that you will never fail in, that you will never fail in. And it rules constant expansion, constant expansion. Jupiter in the house of Capricorn, okay? A person's Capricorn characteristics. He had Saturn in there. He had Saturn in there. He had Uranus in there. He had Jupiter in there. 3 very, very powerful planets, okay? That signified what he would be recognized for, which would be sticking to what he believed in, choosing a path of rebelliousness against the United States government and as a revolutionary, and the creator and the ancestors looking after him so his public image would never be tarnished. Okay? Jupiter, Uranus, and Saturn all in the house of public recognition in his 11th house of Capricorn. He had Mars in the house of Sagittarius, which means he traveled to go to war for what he believed in. He traveled to fight in the boxing ring for what he believed in, okay? And the global elites turned against him soon as this Uranus in his 11th house was activated, so he could become a rebel slash revolutionary and join the Nation of Islam. Remember, ever since he joined the Nation of Islam is when they tried to fix fights to make his ass lose. And when he won the fight against what's his name? George Foreman. When Muhammad Ali won the fight against George Foreman, that is when he broke the last straw, and the global elite gave Muhammad Ali a neurotoxin. They actually injected, I found this out, people, they actually injected Muhammad Ali with what's called a neurotoxin poison. It's called a neurotoxin, and it damages the part of the brain that controls our nervous system, and it gave him what they called Parkinson's syndrome. But it was all caused by an injection of neurotoxins because they wanted to keep him alive. They wanted to make a fool of him and keep him alive so they could still make money off of his image, people. So they hit him with a neurotoxin so he could not have the ability to speak, and he could not uplift his people anymore, and he could not join any political organization and be taken seriously, because he couldn't even speak, because like I said, the Jews hit him up with a neurotoxin. Okay. Very sad, very sad. Indeed. When you do your research, it is very mind-boggling and mind-blowing, especially when you look at this natal chart. Right here, he has Pluto in Leo in the 13th house of his 13th crown chakra, which gave him a very high point of intuition. Very, very, very high point of intuition. Pluto rules death and rebirth, rules transformation, rules the very powerful things we cannot see. It is also a water sign, and it is in a water house, which made Muhammad Ali very intuitive and very prophetic. Okay, this man was a born prophet. This man was a born leader. This man was a born soldier. This man was a born warrior who stood up for what he believed in, and he was punished by the global elite for joining the Nation of Islam. No, I do not agree with what the Nation of Islam stood for. Okay, Muhammad Ali was not hip to that information at the time because he was very young. Okay, but he definitely stood up for what he believed in, and that's really all that mattered. Okay, and like I said, as soon as he became a Muslim, that's when the Jews and the global elite tried to fix fights to have his ass lose. And like I said, when he got out of jail and he fought George Foreman, that's a fight that was supposed to be fixed for his ass to lose. Frazier, the third fight against Frazier, he was supposed to lose. He didn't. Okay, so they said, screw this. In 1984, they injected his ass with a neurotoxin, which paralyzed his nervous system and the brain, the part of the brain that controls his nervous system. Okay, like I said, according to this man's chart, a man of great psychic ability, a man of great intuition, a man who stood up for what he believed in the public eye, a man who was destined to succeed in his career life and how he was viewed by the public, a man who went to war, who traveled to go to war. House of Sagittarius, Mars in there. So he went to war to do Mars martial arts activities. Okay? A man who was destined for greatness. Okay? This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is almost what you call a giant trine. A giant trine. When you almost get a giant trine, this is a soul who has come back to achieve greatness. Like I said, when somebody comes to you and says that I'm your dad's idol, I'm your granddad's idol, okay, that person was put back here to do great things by the Creator, by the ancestors themselves, okay? If you really want to get technical, Muhammad Ali, in my eyes, was a reincarnated gladiator from before 711 AD. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to blow your minds. I did my research. Muhammad Ali, we all know, his real name was Cassius Clay before he changed it. And if you do your research, the Clay family come from Ireland. They come from Ireland. So that last name Clay is not only the Moors who were enslaved by the Clays, by the white people with the last name of Clays, but ladies and gentlemen, before slavery started, before 711 AD, before the Moors entered Europe, the Clays in Ireland were all black Moors. In Ireland, do your research. The word Irish means the the individuals who took on the characteristics of the Irish. So that's why they're called Irish. The original Irish were only called Ires, and they were all heavily melanated people called Formorians. Go do your research on the Formorians. Muhammad Ali's bloodline goes all the way back to the Formorians in Ireland, and they were called the original Ires. And that's how he got his last name of Clay. His bloodline goes back to the gladiators before 711 AD, because remember, when Kemet was taken over, black people were used as gladiators in the Colosseum, people. So the Formorians who were inhabiting Ireland, okay, they were called the Ires. They were called the Moorish Ires. Go do your research. And that is where Muhammad Ali's bloodline goes back to. Those same people were used as gladiators in the goddamn Colosseum in Rome. Okay? So like I said, this is all on repeat. His soul came back to stand up for a cause. He was born in 1942, I believe. January 17th, 1942, 6:50 a.m. or 6:50 p.m. We can check right up here. Okay. Yeah, Muhammad Ali, born January 17th, 1942, 6:35 p.m., Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, so January 17th, 1942, 6:35 p.m., Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, so yeah, I was right about the year and the birthday. But yeah, this man had gladiator in his blood, had prophet in his blood, and the way the stars and planets were aligned at the moment of his birth proved that he came back here to be a prophet and a gladiator. This man, ladies and gentlemen, we're sitting here, you know what I'm saying, talking about, you know, some stupid shit like the NBA Finals, okay, which I already told you, Cavaliers are going to win. Golden State winning by two games is just a goddamn illusion. The Cavaliers will tie it up. Then Golden State will win in Game 5 to go up 3-2. Then the Cavaliers will win the next 2 games. Okay, it's all an illusion. It's all rigged. Okay, like I said, we need to detach from that bullshit because it's all rigged. Okay, you will see. You guys will see. Okay, I'm not even worried about that. But we shouldn't even be focused on that. We should be focused on Muhammad Ali being sacrificed. Okay, and we need to start to question, you know, the autopsy of his death. Also, the presidents will be at his funeral, which proves that he was sacrificed. Why the hell would the presidents be at a rebel, a man who stood up for melanated people in this country? Think about it, people. Why would they be attending his damn funeral ceremony? Wake the hell up. Okay, it's time to wake up. This is what we need to be focused on, because let me be real with you. This is right next to Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, or Khalid Muhammad dying. This man was right up there with them. You see what I'm saying? But right now, you got stupid idiots on my page talking about the goddamn NBA Finals, talking about homosexuals like LeBron James and others who already took the oath. You see what I'm saying? When that crap is already fixed, it's already fixed. You see what I'm saying? This is what we should be worried about. Okay? One of our significant leaders going down and being sacrificed right before the 2016 Olympics. And I told you the Olympics happen every 4 years, and they sacrifice somebody significant every 4 years when the Olympics goes down. Okay? It's time to wake up. It's time to come out of the damn matrix and accept reality for what it is, man. Okay? I thank everybody who supported RFG Movement, supported everybody who purchased the natal chart, and who purchased RFG and Atlantean clothing. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. It's the Chosen Man. I'm out.